No, I don't consider myself a hero. I'm convinced if I wasn't working that day, someone else would have been motivated to go help out my neighbor. I was driving to Chico from my house the morning of the fire, and I saw the giant plume of smoke across the valley, across the river. And I've been up here for over 20 years, and we've had many fires start on the other side of the river in Concow. And my buddy Joe gave me a call, and he said, Bryant, that fire jumped the river. And when I heard that it jumped the river, I knew this was gonna be a bad one. So I jumped in my car and I went straight back to my house in Paradise. And by the time I got to Paradise, there was smoke, there was mass evacuations. I partnered up with a guy and we just started evacuating, just house to house, door to door, street to street, getting people out. You know, it's funny, when I left my house that day, I didn't think for a second my house was gonna burn up. Later that afternoon, we're doing our evacuation and I saw someone had put a sprinkler on their roof. And that's when I started thinking, maybe I'm gonna lose my house. So I told my partner, I said, hey, on our way home, I wanna stop by my house and I wanna put a sprinkler on my house. Maybe we could save my house. So a couple hours later, we were heading down to Paradise and the fire had already passed, but you could see its path. There were houses on fire, trees on fire. It was smoky and there were power lines down everywhere. And at that point, I was driving my car and my partner was driving his patrol car behind me. And I kept thinking, this is a really bad idea, but I kept feeling like I need to keep going. I need to keep going. And I saw my neighbor, this little old lady, and she's just sitting there in her driveway all by herself amongst the flames. And I thought, my heart just sank. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, there's my neighbor. She's 80, 90 years old. And so I ran over to her and I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I said, can you drive your car? And she says, no, I can't drive. I said, well, where's your husband? She says, well, he left that morning to go to Chico, and then when the fires hit, the roadblocks went up, he couldn't come back and get me. I'm like, oh my goodness. And at that point, my partner Aaron pulled up and he sees me talking to my neighbor, and he comes running over, he's like, Bryant, go try and do what you gotta do to your house, I'll take care of her. So I ran down there and I tried to put a sprinkler on my house, but there was no water pressure. So there was really nothing I could do. You know, I haven't been frustrated about losing my house for a second because all we lost was stuff. We didn't lose any family members or friends. You can replace stuff, you can't replace your friends. But what was amazing is when I pulled into my driveway and I saw my neighbor, the thought came to my mind, she's, even though she's old, our Father in heaven was looking out for his daughter. And so we had the opportunity to help her, and I'm grateful.